It's time for another race talk where we go back and look at a live stream and then do some commenting on what was going on during the race. This is the Embrooks Ring. It's the stage 6 of the Tour De Zwift, and in this particular one I was attempting to see how well I could do. In the past I've approached it trying to be in the top 50, top 75, setting a target that would be perhaps in the top 20%. Well, today I decided I was just going to go after it and see if I could place as high as I possibly could. And that's what brought us here today, and to the Embrook Ring, which is a circuit that includes this particular climb. And we're coming in a little bit late. This is lap 204. And on this particular one, I was trying to push it. So climbing this at this wattage probably was not the smartest thing for me to do. But I wanted to stay up there in the top 20 if possible. I had been riding in the top 15 to 20 the entire time. Even after the first lap, we went through the first lap. I got dropped on the climb, got with the group. We caught back up with the lead group before we hit the climb again for the second lap. And so I was, I want to try to stay with them. Well, as you can see, I did stay in the top 15, but man, it was not smart of me to pull that off. So now, once again, trying to get in a group to pull me up to that other. We'll form up here, and just to save us some time, we're going to be shifting into 8 times speed. So this was, I think, just under an hour long race, and I've shortened it to about 20 minutes max for this. Now you notice I just turned red. The reason why I turned red was that was alerting me that the CO2 in my office had reached unacceptable levels. Again, I left the door closed. I need to remember to leave the door open before I do these things. So the group is beginning to form up a little bit, and it did turn out that in this third lap that we're going to be coming into, the same thing happened again. We were able to catch up with the lead group before we hit the bottom of the climb. But after that second lap, and I pushed up pretty hard, for me, I knew that, I think I was saying, I may even said it here, that I wasn't going to make it. I felt as though if I had to push that hard again, I was probably going to crack. So get in, try to get my heart rate down, get in the group, get some draft, let them pull me back up. I think there I got a PR. Definitely not a PR of all time, but PR in this race in the last 30 days. While we're doing this, to just comment on a couple of things that have changed. You'll notice that I've put the low cadence title there at the bottom. That's hearkening back to the days when I had the low cadence blog. Probably going to end up redirecting the lowcadence.com to this YouTube channel so that people can access it by typing in that domain. And then also the phone rendering there with the companion app. I like the companion app because I can see the group much better than you can up in the upper right. And then in the upper right, where the elevation and all those things are, that is where my chat will show up if anyone ever starts chatting in these videos, these live feeds. So here we are in the group. We've caught up. Now I was up, I thought I just saw 9th. So there is a group of guys. I went up to the very front at one point. It may even show up in the video, just to see what was going on. And if you're on the front of this group, you are fourth. So there are 3 guys who are even away from this group. And I just was hoping to stay with them. This time I said I am not going to push past 400 watts. I didn't even look at my wattage. I just said I'm going to get in a rhythm that I can handle, and then when I get up to the top, we'll see what happens, how far away I'll be, who knows. So, but I'm not going to blow myself up on this climb. And as it turns out, I wasn't very far off where I was before. So we're nearing the top now. I knew I wasn't going to podium, obviously. And even if I was in the lead group there, the lead large chase group, I knew I wasn't going to be in. Now this guy just passed me there. He, Corridor, he came over and I got on his wheel, and then basically he and I rode for the rest of the race together. I think I said right now as I went over the top of that, my legs just turned to bricks. And that's how it felt. It just like my legs got hard, and I knew I was going to have to try to ease up, spin a little bit more, and I kept having to shift to try to get my RPMs up. I was also wondering what this guy was thinking with me. Here I do pull through and I am leading him a little bit, but I honestly could not get up in front of him to give him any draft. So I wasn't on his wheel drafting just to suck on his wheel. I just had a hard time coming around him during the times that I did. I tried, but even when I did get in front of him, I think I was just going too slow for him. And so I would fall back in and try to find the draft. Here I'm drafting off of him using the power up, but definitely not trying to take advantage of him. I just couldn't come around him. So now we're coming toward the start-finish line. We're still going at a faster speed. Obviously, we're not going this fast. I've sped up the video to shorten this up a little bit. Here I'm actually trying to come around and do some work. But I just would always find myself falling back. With this happening, I was beginning to think, 20th place doesn't look too bad for me. I'd be happy with the 20th. And I began to think a little too defensively. Shouldn't have. And before the video is over, we're going to see why that's the case. We were beginning to see some riders ahead of us, and I figured that they were not on the lead lap. Anyone in front of us at this point, they weren't going to fall back. So as we were catching up with some of the riders in front, I figured we were coming around some lapped riders. So my thinking at this point, I was looking there at the companion app and noticing the gaps. So as we are going around this turn, the next rider behind us is just now coming through. So we're talking 46 seconds behind. So I was like, hey, if we just take it easy here and just work together at a decent speed, we should be able to hold that gap and we'll be fine. So I even stopped thinking about the people behind us and just thought about holding the speed and the wattage that we were doing at this point. Again, I'm on his wheel, 20th place, 19th place, 20th place. Just thought it was interesting too. Even when I would go in front, sometimes I was still, no matter what was happening with him, I was being shown in 20th place. So I would think I would be 19th at this point. Could be that we were together so close in the algorithms for Zwift that they didn't distinguish between us, even though the distance appears to be there. Now I'm showing up as 19. I'm still not sure what was going on there. I just noticed there were 525 in this particular event. I thought it was 460. So hey, that makes me feel even better that there were that many involved. So now it shows up correctly, 20th. Here I'm getting ready to use the companion app to reach out and give him a ride on, just to let him know I appreciate the work he was doing, that I wasn't trying to take advantage of him. And here I was like, oh, I gotta get up with him or I'm going to be in trouble. Now you'll notice if you look that suddenly that 45-second gap has dropped significantly. 24 seconds, and I wasn't paying attention to that. I was still thinking, oh well, if we've got a gap on the people behind us and we're getting ready to go into this climb, then surely we'll be able to, put down, won't have to kill ourselves, climb up on this final climb, and we'll roll over the other side and we're going to be fine. 19th and 20th place together. But if you'll look, you'll notice now is a 17-second gap. And not only is it a 16-second gap, it's falling very quickly. And not only is the gap falling, you'll notice that there is a group. So what's happening is there's a larger group behind us that's getting some good draft. And we're going to see what happens. I'm going, hey, we're passing people. Of course, these are lapped riders. I'm down 298. I definitely should have been pushing more at this point, but I was just trying to conserve. And look behind us, you'll notice that there are people now putting down red. 7 watts per kilogram, 8 watts per kilogram, and they go flying past us. So now I fall into 22nd. So I'm like, oh man. Then you'll see some more people going. 23rd place, 24, 25. And I'm like, okay, Corridor, I don't know what you're doing, but I've got to go. So now I start putting down the wattage. A little too late, I'm afraid, to try to get back up with that group, and hoping that I can come around on the downhill and use some draft and pick up some spots. So big gap over the top. That means I'm going to have to chase downhill in order to try to catch up with the people in front of me. It was time to stop thinking about saving anything and time to go. So I just kept putting it down. Yeah, I'm only putting out 250 to 300 watts, but that's like all I could put out at that point. I was pretty tired. So 27th place, so picked up 1. And then I think I may yo-yo back and forth some, but I started thinking, and maybe I could get, if I work hard, 25th. So let's try to salvage a 25th. I just need to pull up. I would see those riders up in front of me, and the thing is, you never know, because in the midst of all this, you're not thinking and looking over there at all the numbers. You don't know if they are lapped riders or if they are riders for position. And in this case, it's obviously riders that are lapped. So, just trying to stay steady, go for the finish. Just throw out here while we are going through this kind of lull in the action. Be sure to go by idoit4.org and donate to the I Do It For Foundation. If you go to the website idoit4.org and go to the foundation support link in the main menu, you can give a tax-deductible gift to the foundation. And what we do with that foundation money is we use it to help support people who are doing I Do It For projects. So for instance, right now we have the I Do It For project Ride for Larry, and we've raised about $11,000 for Larry's family. Larry has a terminal brain tumor. He is paralyzed from the waist down. It is terminal, so we are trying to raise money to help him and his family with expenses during this time. Well, anytime that you have those raising that money, there are transaction fees, administrative bank fees, and that is what the foundation covers, so that 100% of any money that's given can go to Larry and his family. So consider going to idoit4.org, go down to Larry's I Ride for Larry, give to I Ride for Larry. But if you do, consider also giving a gift to the foundation. Now back to the race here. I caught this guy. He was someone who came, and now I'm in 25th. So hey, this is great. Well, what happens is, if you look down, you'll notice a corridor is down there about 8 seconds back. And I'm, putting up close to 300 watts, trying to hold steady at around 3.8 watts per kilogram. And I'm thinking, hey, I'm passing people. This is okay. This is good. And I'm not paying attention that now corridor is only 4 seconds behind me. And if I had started now trying to keep that speed up, I probably could have finished in 25th, but I just wasn't paying attention, and corridor came around me, and you're going to see that happen here quite soon. There he goes. Now I'm like, oh no. So I have this half-hearted, hey, let's go for it. Let's try to get the 25th place back. And my leg said, oh, no, you're not. You just finish here in 26th. So there we go. 26th place, 35.6 kilometers, 49 and a half minutes, average 289 watts. So there you go. Try again later. Maybe I'll do better. We'll see. Hey, be sure to go and visit idoit4.org and donate today. Thank you very much for watching and listening.
Any better?
Good night.
Doggone it. Whew.